That was our worst special teams effort. Maybe since I've been here.
One low snap. Was that Marquise? Was he?
Correct.
But you kept him in there, right?
That's right. Sure.
Yeah,
well, you got to believe in the kid. You know, he's one of those guys that then the next snap was perfect. So,
right.
If kids have a great attitude, they're mentally tough, they have confidence, and they really do their job every day, and they make a mistake, hey, that's no problem. It's the
More
kid
teams are going to that sidewinder type rugby thing.
Yep. They are. I mean, just in general, that shield punt, you know, is kind of in vogue right now, and we started out really well, executing it really well in the first 2 games. We haven't been doing it as well. We haven't been kicking the ball, to be quite honest. We didn't kick off well. Saturday, we didn't snap well, we didn't punt well, and then we didn't catch well.
Like the opening kickoff in the second half, Brandon put it out of bounds. I mean, you got to be saying, what the heck is going on? What happened? I mean, you just lost focus?
Again, that's the G version, but correct. Correct. I don't know. But we'll get it back. You know, he ended up hitting a good field goal. You know, I think he missed a 50-yarder, but man, it was good from 60. I'll tell you that.
He missed it by 2 yards.
It was good from 60, though. That thing landed
way up.
Way up. And so we'll just stay with him, you know. And again, he gives us an opportunity to score points when we're inside the 35. That's 10 yards better than we would have tried a year ago. So inside the 35, in our minds, is a scoring opportunity now, which changes the way you play offense. So he'll get it. You know, I like our kickers and punters, and I like our returners. We just did not play well. We did not play well, and again, that's my fault. I got to get that corrected in terms of the special teams.
Coach, you mentioned these mistakes, and as a former player, I know they see them too. They're 2-0 for the first time in that conference play. Do you see them working even harder now?
I did. I mean, the practice they had today was to that extent. Yeah. You know, I think they got a taste of it now, and you know, I think they believe in the process now. So we'll just keep working. You know, we got a long way to go. Everybody's talking about 2-0 in the conference, our record, their record, all that. None of that matters. It's just we're getting ready for Ball State. That's the next guy up on the schedule, and in the MAC, it's an 8-game tournament. This is game 3. Survive in advance.
Along those lines, because of where your team is now, does it present different challenges for you and your staff on a week-to-week basis now than you were facing like a year ago? Or
no, I just feel like as a staff, we're talking about what most staffs, and again, I don't know all the staffs, but I would say that most staffs, we're talking about the same issues that most staffs in America are talking about, and most of them are team morale, personnel, tactical advantages, and then of course execution. And that was never the case. Our time was shared, was split in so many different areas. Was it behaviorally or academically or trying to teach guys how to practice or how to finish or how to tackle, getting guys stronger, all those things. That's not the issue right now. The issue is we're coaching football. So from that standpoint, it's good, and we just got to keep them on task. I think the guys that have been around here long enough appreciate the process now, and hopefully they'll talk to the younger guys about staying on task. And again, I'll say it again, we have a long way to go. We didn't literally play a good football game Saturday.
Al, I haven't had a chance to see them on offense. Do they spread things out a little bit more? Do they run more I guess, traditional stuff? Can you defend them in the same way? Do they present some different challenges?
No, there's some read option, some spread option. There are a lot of 3 wides and what we call 11 personnel and 12 personnel. So 2 wides, two tight ends, or 3 wides, 1 tight end. And I like the quarterback. I think the quarterback's a good player. Got a tight end who's a really good receiver. So I mean, they pose some problems. It's probably closer to Villanova's offense than anything we've seen since then. And of course, that gave us problems late in that game. So we have to be ready for that, and we're doing a good job practicing it today. We'll get back at it tomorrow.
Any other questions?
Sure.
On the likes of the young players like Bernard, do you feel like playing a game like Penn State before going into conference play really helped him, just conditioning to the game of college football?
It did.
Things like that?
It did. I know it did. I think it helped him. I think it helped a number of guys. So here, Whitehead comes to mind. I think Bernard is a guy that comes to mind. Joey Jones, who played well in that second half there. And I think it helped some other guys recognize that what their talents are. Jamie Nixon getting behind, even though he didn't catch the ball, just getting behind the Penn State secondary, which is a fast secondary, those types of things. So I think certainly Bernard, his first carry, looked like a freshman against Penn State, and then the other carries you know, subsequently were a lot better. So I think he came out of there with a lot of confidence, and obviously he carried that over into the next 2 weeks. The group that derived the most confidence from that game was the offensive line, because that was an excellent front.
Do you also feel that the older players that have been with you throughout this whole process, building the program like you've done, do you feel now that they bring the younger players up to speed quicker than maybe when you first got here?
Certainly. You know, there was nobody. You know, there was nobody. I always say, you know, when Buffalo really beat us badly in 2007, they had more guys that went to the NFL than we had seniors. And most people don't realize that. I mean, they had more guys on their team that went to the NFL than we had seniors on that team. So, you know, I think the older guys now understand the impact that they can have in the locker room when it comes from the players and their peers as opposed to the coaches.
Do you feel like you're really seeing that impact out on the field as well now?
We're getting there. You know, we're getting there. You don't win the championship in October, you know. So we got to keep going, and for us, it's one game at a time.
Coach, you seem to be looking for more from Von Chalkers. Is he leaving plays on the field?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think certainly we can do a better job protecting. We can do a better job just going to catch the ball. But at some point, Kevin, it's not the technique and it's not coaching and all that. They just got to go play. And I think that's what the offensive line realizes right now. That, you know, they're just going to play. The technique's great. Step with your right foot, have a base, all that. You know, but in the end, it's just go play, and that's what we need Vaughn and the wide receivers to do right now. And that's the challenge, to be quite honest. And we don't see it any differently than you. We are leaving plays on the field. We got to protect them better, and we'll do it. We'll do it. We're excited to do it. We're excited about the challenge. Again, we're fixing things now that are fixable. We had too many fingers and toes and dikes the last 3 years to hold the water back, but we're fixing things that are fixable now.
You've talked about the offense and the special teams here. Can you give us kind of an assessment on the defense up to this point?
Well, we put them in a terrible position against Villanova, turning over 5 times. And we really asked them to do way too much in that game by turning it over 5 times. So the fact that we had a chance to win the Villanova game with 5 turnovers is a credit to the defense, to be quite honest, that we even had a shot, because we kept putting them back out there, especially when they came in numbers. I think we only had 1 in the first half. You guys that are reporters know better than me. And then we had 4 in the second half. And when they come in groups like that, you can't, you know, we kind of got worn down, and we asked them to do too much. Penn State, we didn't tackle as well, but I thought we did a lot of good things. And then obviously Buffalo and Eastern, we tackled better. We played with a lot of energy. I think that's the biggest thing for me right now as the coach, is we're playing with a lot of energy on defense, and we're playing with some poise, most particularly in the red zone. I thought we were good in the red zone, both Buffalo and Eastern. But you know, the challenges are going to keep getting greater, you know, as you move on. So I think the defense is improving, and I'm excited to see how they respond this week.
You mentioned energy, Coach, and that is how you win late in the season. What do you and your staff, what are you guys trying to do to make sure you keep that energy in the defense and in the offensive line?
Well, it's tough. I mean, we had our bye week prematurely, you know, and I think we're the only team in the conference that won't have a bye week before another conference game. So that's tough. So we'll adjust the schedule, you know, but now's when you draw what's in the bank. You know, how good was our strength and conditioning program in the spring and summer? How well conditioned are we? How experienced are we? How well are we doing in terms of our engagement in the meeting rooms and the walkthroughs? Because if you have a mature team, then you can take a day off, and you can rest them on a day, or give them 2 days off somewhere along the way. And we're going to have to do that to get through certainly this next 5-week stretch. But I think that comes with maturity. You know, the more mature you are, the more you can give them some time to heal their bodies. And that wasn't the case, you know, prior to this year. So I think we have a little bit more mature team, certainly on defense. I think we only have 3 offensive starters that are seniors, but it is a mature team. It's an experienced team. So we'll get them healthy. And then they got to do their part in terms of making good decisions off the field and getting their rest and their diet.
Any other questions? We'll be right back with players.
Okay, guys, thanks.